You're ready? We're going to start up right night.
The content and opinions shared on Talking Random is by intended for entertainment and informational purposes. They reflect the personal views of the host and guests and do not constitute professional advice or represent any affiliated organization. The Talking Random Talking Random. The Talking Random Talking Random.
Welcome back. Okay, I guess if I turn the mics on. Welcome back to Barbershop Talking Random-ish. I am your master barber, Enrique King. I'm here with my beautiful, lovely hero, my rock. But we are also joined tonight by Athens' own Poet Laureate. And she's an amazing young lady. And if this is the first time you've heard her words, you need to find her words, look her up. She's a beast with these words. And when we tell you how old she is, if she decides to disclose this, you're going to be absolutely amazed. But I know we said we're going to talk about you, but Wifey just asked you a great question that I think needs you say the terms are 2
years.
Now, are you able to do a Donald Trump? Just come and go as you please. Are you able to run again to become for the Poet Laureate?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh, okay.
But
you can't make up the rules as you go.
No.
That's what he.
No, we're not about that fashion.
Oh, okay.
But I will say that I'm excited to see who the next Poet Laureate is. I believe the applications may open up in November. But if people have questions about how to become the Poet Laureate or like what it's like, or I'm so happy to answer those questions. And I want to see tons of people apply. I feel like I just love to see so many different people do this position how they want to. And so I encourage people to apply when it opens up. I believe in November. Don't quote me. I'll have to check on that. But I'm excited to see who's next.
The funny thing about that, last Wednesday, about applying.
Yes.
Malachi. Young Malachi. He's a young lion. And,
wow.
And of course, I'm gonna try to definitely get my co-host, my boy. Larry, to dive into that. I don't know if he has the time, but I'm gonna definitely try to get him to apply for it. But
you get to make it what you want. So like you can go as slow or as fast as you want to. Mm-hmm. So it's very adaptable to. You just gotta hit those marks, and as long as you do, the world is your oyster.
Okay. How about credentials?
Credentials. The main thing that I remember from applying was just that they wanted to see like what is your work? Like what are you trying to share? Like what through your words do you want to share with the community? Like what are you bringing? That's not already here. I don't want to say that, but what are you bringing as an open offering for people to take a part of? This is not a position for folks that just want to have their words for themselves and just kind of want to be on stage to be like praised for. Mm-hmm. Not to say that like stage performance is not good, but it's just like if you don't want to share your words with people and for it to take on a life of its own, like because that's a part of being in community with your poetry is that it's gonna do what it wants to do.
Absolutely.
It's gonna breathe how it wants to breathe,
Absolutely.
right? And so if you're not okay with that, this is not the space.
And I guess they need to know it is an act of service.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So yeah.
Yeah, and again, it can go as slow. It can be as lax, or as I want to do everything. Like, it can be whatever you want it to be. And so, but the hope is that you will bridge the gap and bring the communities of poetry together, right? Like, that's what it's all about.
When did you fall in love with words?
When did I fall in love with words? Yeah. As you said before, like, I'm very young. For those who don't know, I'm 25.
Now, let that breathe for a minute. I really want you to let that breathe for a minute.
I'm 25.
She is 25 years old.
Yeah.
And the things that she has accomplished, the things that she has done already in her young life. A lot of people, I'm 52 and I'm like, damn, I need to get out.
No,
I need to get on my I'm sorry, Lord. I'm sorry.
No.
But yes, now back, and then I'm going to get to the rest of the question. But when did you fall in love with words?
So my mom told me this story. I don't fully remember. I kind of remember a little bit. But when I was around 5 years old, I lost my younger sibling. She was a baby. She passed from heart issues and a surgery complication. And I was watching everybody around me grieve, but developmentally, grief is not something I could really tap into at that age.
Yeah.
It's just not something that I hadn't had to deal with before. And so I was watching everybody around me deal with grief, but wasn't really feeling it in my own body, but I knew something was wrong. And so we were in class in kindergarten, and I wrote this poem. I don't even know, I don't know how many lines it was, but I remember writing something, in regards to, my sister. And my teacher read it, and she was crying because at school, they knew, I had lost a sibling. And I guess she told my mom, and my mom was crying, and that was the first time that I saw the power of what words could do, and I was
Absolutely.
whoa, what is this? Whatever this is, I want to, because clearly something I knew that something needed to be I knew that something happened, and I was I need to tap into whatever that is. And so I remember writing a little story, because I also write fiction. And so I wrote a story, and I won an award for it, and I was okay, I was hungry for that, and then I fell in love with books. Oh, I love the smell of books. I love to touch books. I'm I don't know what that's called, but I love books, just reading.
Okay, well, okay, do you like audiobooks?
I like audiobooks too. Yes.
Now, I'm not a.
That counts as reading. I don't care what people say.
No, it does, but
yeah.
I don't like audio.
Really?
No.
Which
I
is
like to
okay.
actually touch
and
the feel. Yes,
I understand.
It's something about that for me.
It feels different.
Yes.
It's a different type of practice. So I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No.
No. I'm deep into books. So if you're I read this, and I'm immediately writing it down, and I'm okay, how can I find it for free? Okay, how can I buy it? Okay, how can I blah blah blah? Is that I want to read everything. But yeah, so that was me as a kid. My mom would be you gotta stop, because I would be in my room reading all the time, how people are addicted to their phones.
Yes.
I was addicted to books, and
wow.
I would sit in class and draw the pictures that I saw in books. So I also love to draw. So I would draw. I was into anime, so I would draw the anime characters. I was into comics, so I would start making my own comics. And then I got into chapter books, so I really loved sci-fi and fantasy. So I would read Aragon and Inkheart and all these I would be reading like 500-page books in like 2 days. Like I would sit up and like
wow.
I was like that. I was that kid.
Wow.
So the love of books allowed me to love writing, like deep love writing. And I talk about being a grandma. First my parents like really pushed education. Like they were not like during the summer we would go to the library. I would be doing the reading challenge because I wanted that pizza, whatever they was. My parents, like, we would be writing, like, whether it was Bible scriptures or whatever, like, that's what we were doing during the summer. Like, we would do fun stuff, too, but it was like, it was like we were in school. My mom did not play. And my grandma also loves books and to write. And she, like, gifted me some of my first poetry books. So, like, Maya Angelou,
Still all right.
I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And I was like, it's still all right. And all of those, I was like, wow. There's Black women poets. I want to be just like them.
We have another co-host friend, Perdita.
Yeah.
One of her biggest things that she does is phenomenal woman.
Yeah.
And she's been doing it since high school, since we were in high school. But anytime I can get her to do phenomenal woman, I mean her rendition is beautiful.
I love, and it's like in that canon, right? Like in that canon, in that tradition of Black women poets. It's something different about us. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, and so like I was just falling in love with words, and I was like, wow, there's this whole world that other kids are reading, and I was like, I'm like hungry for this. I'm like,
wow.
I would get in trouble for like not. I was a straight A student, but I would be like, I'm done with my work. I don't care. I'm writing. I'm reading. And then at some point, I became more like apathetic about school, but I would still like get the grades. I was just like, okay, I would just like there would be times where I just wouldn't study, and I would still just do well because I was like, okay, I can guess and I can like figure it out. But anyways, and that probably happened more around like high school, where it became like more like apathetic about school and just more like I want to do my own whatever this writing thing is. I'm ready to go. And so I came to UGA and I started actually with an environmental science degree because I love nature. I love ecology and the environment, and I'm really passionate about environmental justice. And so I was like, I want to find a way to help Black people get our land back. I want to find a way for us to like have our own.
I got about 2-3 pieces in Athens that if you still want to, I got about 2 or 3 pieces right here that I would love to fight back and get back.
Exactly. And so I was like, I want to learn all this knowledge about like horticulture and grass and like so that we can like do that. But then I was like, wow, you have to be really good at math and science. And I have the like go and the organizing skills, but I ain't got the math and the science. I was like, this is real hard. Like, I gotta be in chemistry. Very hard. But anyways, and then I was like, okay, I want to do journalism. And I had internships in journalism, so like I was working for a magazine, and like I got to like do stuff on site and meet cool artists and like do all these things. But then there was like writing deadlines, and I was like, oh my god, like I want to write my opinions about this, and it was like, no, you have to write like the facts. And I was like, dang, this is not for me. I want to get into this person's story and tell like the poetry of their life and how they live and like all of that. And I was like writing about like DJ Mustard and like the woman who created Honey Pot, and I'm like, yes, these are the stories I want to write. But it's like you have to tell it from an objective point of view. And I'm like, I'm an objective person, right? Like I want to tell this story. So I was like, okay, maybe I should do an English degree. But everybody was like, you're not gonna make no money with an English degree. That's not a profitable thing. And I emailed my high school teacher, and I was like, should I do English? And she was like, yes. Like, you didn't even have to ask me that. Like, you know that you can do this. And so I switched and was like, okay, this is it. And that was like a whole other thing of like doing English and like, you know, like you still have to take the core classes. And I was like, dang, I don't want to read about Shakespeare. But I learned so much, and like I like understood more about the craft and like how to like how to write in like publishing and like all the gatekeeping within publishing and like why it's so important for people to know the greats and why there's only so many greats taught. So I was able to like teach myself certain things as well of like, okay, this is my great. Like obviously Shakespeare, he is great, but I'm like, also there's we got Langston Hughes, we got
I have a Langston Hughes poem.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
We got Richard Wright. We got James Baldwin. I'm
Yes.
like, these are mine.
Nikki.
These Nikki, June.
Yes.
These are my people.
Yeah.
But shout out to Shakespeare though. But yeah, I just found myself falling in love with like telling stories and wanting to write and like touch paper to pen, pen to paper, and yeah, like all throughout that time I was writing poems. Like poems just kept flowing out of me. They just kept coming and coming and coming, whether it was 2 lines or 1 lines. And in high school, I like dealt with depression a lot, and that's another part of like the apathy. So I dealt with a lot of mental health issues and was like severely struggling. And poetry pretty much, like I say, it like saved my life because it really did. I like had a suicide attempt when I was in high school, and so during that time I had like quit my poetry club. Like I was just like, I don't want to do it anymore. But poetry kept finding me, and when I say like it saved my life, it truly saved my life. So
if Larry was here,
yeah,
he would tell you. Yeah. He would tell you the absolute same thing.
Yeah,
because and you, some of his poems and we is on the even on the show this show, we get into he gets into the dark side of how poetry helped bring him through some of those dark sides and I mean this microphone for me I guess is my gift in me telling my story because I also had a suicide attempt. And this is the way that I try to I guess talk about it and get it out and also let people know that it's okay for us to have these conversations. And one of the things I tell people that it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay staying not okay. You got to find your God. You have to find your tribe. You have to find your voice. You have to find your something, your help, your team. And you have to go about finding these things. We thank God that you have your writing so that you are here so that you can tell these stories. Thank you for sharing that. And September is we gonna get back to who you are. But September is National Suicide Month. I would like to do have a show for women to talk about and tell their stories. If you are available, September the 11th.
I gotta look at my calendar.
Please look at your calendar. But if you are available on September the 11th, would you please come back? And because I want a whole panel of women just having these conversations.
I would love to.
Not September the 11th, I'm sorry. Not the 11th. Because the 11th is the Veterans Day show. So it's going to be either the
one of the Thursdays.
Yes, it's the later Thursdays, but I get you the dates. But yes, yes, that's yes. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, that was important.
But yes. But now back to I'm sorry, but this is part of my problem.
It's okay. That was an important thought.
Yes. But thank you for sharing that, and because it took me a while to be able to just share it
Me too,
because I was so embarrassed and so, but now I never forget the first day I walked into the church that I go to, belong to, Clifford Grove Baptist Church, pastored by Troy Jones, but he looked at me, no condemnation, he didn't condemn me, he said, but you have to tell your story.
Wow.
Because your story is going to help someone else. So once again, I thank you for your story because your story is going to help someone else.
Thank you.
But okay, nothing about that. Now we're talking about who you are.
That's a part of
yes,
it.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Your parents.
Yeah.
Are they educators?
No, so my mom is actually a real estate agent. So she has her own business. Well, she's a broker. She has her own business.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad used to work at Procter and Gamble, and now he works at the Starbucks plant. And so they both went to college, and so my grandma especially my grandma on my mom's side is especially into like reading and writing, and like my dad, like his family is like very like driven. They really want they're working people. And so I think that's where he got that from, of like the drive towards something. And so their way of kind of giving me that was through education. Like, you have to do, you're not gonna not do nothing. That's not an option.
Right.
And I think, you know, everybody has like different gifts that they give their kids, like however they decide to do that. And I think that was one that my parents did give me, was making sure that I had access to education was something that was really important to them. And also, like, people don't realize that that is a privilege. Like, that's not everybody. Not everyone has the access to education. And so when I was a kid, I didn't appreciate it, and like didn't know that it was going to be help me tap into something that was already like there. My mom said that like when I was 2, I would like read. Like, I would be actively like reading. And so I think that's also part of it. Like, she knew at an early age that I would like to do, like, I was interested in like words. And maybe I wasn't like really reading, maybe I was like memorizing and like repeating it. But there was something to that. And like, even like, I'm laughing, but like my parents would make me memorize Bible scriptures and like learn how to like write scriptures. And like, even through that, like, the practice of writing and oratorial, I don't even know if that's a word, but the oratory practices. I mean, also, like, this is not new. Like, our ancestors were doing this. Like, when folks got access to reading and writing, it was like, we're gonna find a way to do this all the time, whenever we can. Like, we're disseminating, whether it's through oral stories or oral histories, like whether it's writing down a recipe, whether it's stitching it in the quilt, whether it's braiding it in our hair, we were always finding ways to like carry stories. So it's also, it's my parents, it's my grandparents, it's my ancestors that like built this.
Now, I know this is a Larry would ask.
Yeah.
What is your writing style?
It's my writing style. I would say stylistically, I am more of, I almost describe it as like there's different trains leaving the station at different times of the day, but they're all going to make it to their destination at some point. So, I mean,
that's math. You know that comes from that algebra class.
Oh, yeah. So it's like, I might have a poem live in my body for like come across my brain, and I'll be like, sometimes I'll like run away from it. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna write that, or like, no, that's not it. Like, it has to be perfect, or like, no, I like try to revise it in my head, and it's like, no, like, it has to live. Like, as soon as it comes up, I'm like, okay, I have to find a way to let it live on the page. So it might be where I'm writing one poem for like months, like this one poem, and it's like, this line comes this time, this line comes this time, or this line comes this time, and I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna bring it all together. And it might be where I have like 4 lines, then like randomly at like 1 a.m. it just all comes, and it just like all comes out. And I'm not thinking about revision at that point, because I'm like in the pocket, I'm like in the zone, I'm like leaning in, I'm listening, I'm writing. It might be where it's like, I just read this book, or I just saw this movie, or I just went to work, or I just like took a shower, and like it might just like flow out of me, this entire body of something, and I'm like, okay, it's living and breathing. It's like it just birthed itself. So that's kind of my style, which some might describe that as more of a stream of consciousness. But it's not necessarily that, because like the active practice of going back and like finishing and like, you know, revising if there does need to be a revision is there. It has to breathe first on its own. Like it has to have its own, and then I have to have that feeling where like, okay, it's done. Like, and not done as in like the poem is finished, because I feel like there has to be some breath there. Like after you read the poem, whether you read it out loud or read it on the page, I want there to be a breath of something that captures the entire like feeling of like what you just read. Like, does it live in your body? Is it something that you need to release? Is it something that like, okay, I need to go do whatever I gotta do to like,
absolutely,
you know, like to relieve or like relive, or like maybe it's you want to read it again. Maybe it's like I want to tattoo this line of poetry on my body. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of like my writing style for poetry. In other bodies, like a fiction, like even my short stories, is definitely more of like, I have the picture in my head. I have like the character. I have how they live, like how they eat, what they drink, what they smell like. I have all these things I want to like capture and like tell this person. Talk about this person's life and how they love and how they sleep and how they go to work, or like what music they listen to when they drive. So it's definitely a different type of like pocket, but it's still the same kind of style. It's still the same kind of thing. Yeah.
When I write something, I use way too many words.
Not possible.
No, it is. It is, because I think it was my son when he graduated high school.
Yeah.
I wrote him this piece, and I let my wife read it, and I let another guy that I respect and when he got through with it, it was a lot shorter but what wifey told me was that it's you. And your son would know, yes, this might be cleaner, but it's you.
Yeah, it's your voice.
Do you get in when you well, maybe not so many words, I could have said this in less words, or you like Eminem, I need to use all the words that I can put in one song. I can use all 12 million words in one song. Yeah. Do you find?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on the piece. It's like sometimes I might feel like, okay, I'm telling you, but I want to use more imagery. Like, I don't want to just like say, hey, this person walked down the street. I want to talk about the person's cadence, the rhythm of their bag shifting across their abdomen. I want to talk about how their hair looks in a glint in the sunlight, or whether they're smoking a cigarette or they're like texting other. Like, I want to give you that visual. Like, I want you to feel it. I want to paint the picture, right? And sometimes I do just want to say, I don't like this. Like, this is like, sometimes I do just want to speak very candidly of like, this is love and this is how it feels, right? So it depends on the piece. I think also, like, when you're reading it and writing it, it can take different forms. It might be where like you wrote this entire thing and you're like, yes, it's done, and then you go back and read it and you're like, no, it's not. This is actually a blackout poem. I'm gonna black out like half of these, and the words that remain, this is what it is, right? And so you have to be open to receiving whatever types of revisions may come up for you, right? And if you know, like, if you have that feeling of like, yes, it's finished, like you have to lean into that of like, okay, yes, it can live. So yeah, it's a lot of listening and like leaning and listening to your voice and yourself, and like leaning into that feeling of like, okay, this is it, right? Like, this work is done. It's ready to be birthed. Yeah.
Tanya and I just watched this Netflix series called Love Life. And it was a guy, his name was Marcus. Winfield? I can't remember, but he was
something with a W.
Yeah. but he was an editor.
Yeah.
And so he went through, and as an editor, you have to go through and basically beat up people's work. And
Yeah.
So he eventually got married, and she was like, you know you love to write.
Mm-hmm.
You know you can write. Why don't you write?
Mm-hmm.
And when he first, she finally convinced him to do it.
Yeah.
He did it.
Yeah.
And then he gave it to the editor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the editor beat him up.
Yeah.
What are those moments like?
Yeah. Yeah, I've had to live in a lot of rejection. Like before I became the Poet Laureate, like even that week, well, I was like living in a lot of literary rejections, like no after no after no after no after no after no. And it was hard. Like I was like, okay, like I know I'm a writer. I think I'm good, or good. But I have something I want to say, and I want to share it through this channel. I want through this meme. Why is this what's not landing? Like, is it my am I not literary enough? Am I not accomplished enough? I don't have an MFA, so how people don't think I'm legitimate. Like what's wrong, right? We immediately ask ourselves what's wrong, but you have to remember that someone else is seeing your work through their eyes, right? Like they're not you,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna take whatever kind of technical and professional skills that they've learned and apply that to your work, regardless of who you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what it means to you. And so I say if you know that whatever it is that you're writing, that this is how it's supposed to live and that there's no other way for it to be, and it's not kind of clicking with your editor or the publishing house, then that's not the home for it, right? It will live where it's supposed to be. It will
Mm-hmm.
breathe where it's supposed to be. And maybe it's not for publication. Maybe it's something that you're supposed to read and share with the community. Maybe it's something that is solely for you, right? And it's you have to be okay with the work taking on a life of its own, right? And if it is where you're looking at it, you have to keep coming to it with fresh eyes and be okay, well, if you can see how it would if you're okay with it living with the edits and but also editing is a conversation. It's it's a give and take. It's okay, heard you on that, but I really this. You gotta understand why I wrote it this way. You gotta hear the story behind it. And again, it's it's a give and take. So it's leaning into the discernment and hearing your voice, but also knowing somebody else will be reading it. You have to be okay with that, right? You have to, or if you're not okay with that, you have to decide what that looks like for you, right? It's a lot of listening and leaning and deciding and determining, and
it's not as personal as it feels sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's not.
It's not personal.
Yeah, editors, I mean, that's their job, right?
Right.
They have been trained how to examine a body of work and determine how it will best be consumed, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're, I think about content creators, it's sometimes they spend hours combing over a video of okay, yeah, this would get more likes, this would get more okay, if I do this in the video, I have to talk about my sponsors. I'm not trying to compare writing to content creation, but if you're talking about professional, but also it's having a good editor, having an editor that knows your heart, knows your voice, and can take that and still be here's your body of work, but this is still your voice,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it just depends on it depends on your ideologies of writing and what you want and where you want it to be in your relationship with your editor. So it's there's not a one size fits all. Some people do want to be beat up. Some people do want that harsh critiquing and like will accept that and be like, okay, yes. But that doesn't mean that it's not hard. It definitely is hard to accept.
I know in sport, excuse me. I know in sports, a lot of times, a lot of people they can take criticism better from someone that has played the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that kind of like the same thing? Like if you're dealing with an editor, someone that has actually been out there in the streets, that did some writing, been published, been da, as opposed to that person that's just been an editor, per se.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know. I feel like maybe I have a different perspective, but I think that everyone can be teachers. Like, even if it's like my sister telling me I like that poem, or like, that was really good, or like, yeah, that was beautiful. Like, what were you thinking when you wrote blah, blah, blah? Or like, maybe you should add like this line, or like, I think this would hit. Like, it's like, I think that you can find like a critique or like a lesson from everybody, no matter who they are. Yeah, I don't hold one critique more valuable than another one. I try to stay out of that hierarchy of like feeling that like editing and publishing, that's the end all be all, and like those are a lot of editors and publishers end up being the biggest gatekeepers anyways. Like if you look at like the stats of like Black publishing and like Black authors that are being published, even though like we're in like 2025, still small, right? Like in comparison to our white counterparts, still very small. And it's because of those editors, those publishers, those gatekeepers still peddling the same type of things, still perpetuating the same type of system.
And he was actually battling that thing, because he found himself being like the only Black. Because this basically happened during the COVID time, and that when they laid off everybody, he was the only Black that they kept. They was, and so he was running against, and one of the characters that he wanted to put out, he loved the guy's work, but he knew it, but the people around him, of course, they didn't feel it, didn't understand it. Do you find that a lot of times that people that or editors that has come from a similar background of yours will tend to understand your writing more?
I feel like they understand my writing more. I don't know. I've had different experiences. It's like again, I've had a lot of literary rejections.
But isn't that part of it?
It's severely a part of it. I mean, severely. You probably will get more no's than you do yeses, but those yeses, man, this was a yes for me. Like, this was like one of those yeses in a sea of no's, and I wasn't expecting to get this at all. But yeah, I feel like it's different. Like, you have to find, even if you find a publishing house or like an editor that is from your community, or like it still might not be the home for your work. Like you have to find, and like even if when you find the place that you feel like the home of your poetry should live in, you still might get a rejection, right? And that doesn't mean you should stop trying. You should keep trying.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I feel like it's different every time. But of course, like, our people are gonna understand more, and also like give more opportunities when we can, and lift as we climb. And that's also a part of like what I want to do too, is like finding ways to help Black folks that have never been published be published. That was a big part of the reason why I did like Griots of Athens and Flagpole. Like, I did a collaboration for Black History Month, and that was the first time that some folks even saw their work in print at all.
Yes.
And so that was like really, really important for me to, share this. Even with my elders, I was like, wow, like, you've never been able to see your work like published, like your poetry published. And so for me, that was like big win.
Well, since you're there, what was that like for you when you first saw one of your pieces
Yeah,
What was
like
that
in
like?
print. Oh my gosh. Well, I started off with like online journals. So I believe my first ever published piece was published by this online literary journal called Feminessay. It was a space for Black women writers. And I was like what? Like my work lives on this website, like with a bunch of other amazing Black writers. This is crazy. And then like I started to get published by other like I can talk. Notary, is that the right word? Notary, I don't know. Notoriety, noteworthy. Okay, that's the word. Noteworthy. Oh my gosh, y'all. It's like
It's late.
it's 9:34.
Please don't ask me for the word.
It's 9:34.
It's late.
I have to say. But yeah, it was other noteworthy magazines like Protein magazine, and they like nominate folks for a pushcart prize, which is like a big thing in the poetry world, is getting a pushcart prize. Yeah, and so then I started getting those types of things, and I was like, what? And I was still in college when that was happening, and I was like teaching myself like how to, and I did have folks that were like, okay, like let me help you too. But a lot of it I was like doing on my own, and just like I would just be sitting in class and like going home and being published, and like I wasn't telling anybody, or like most of my professors didn't even know. So it's been kind of cool to go back to UGA, and they're like, oh, you're the Poet Laureate, and I'm like, you taught me. You taught me.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. But my chapbook Dichotomy, that was like my first like in print, like my own. It's not a debut. So chapbook is like a smaller poetry book, typically 20 to 45 pages typically. That's just the range. Sometimes maybe 60 at the most, but typically 20 to 45. And it's usually for poets that are like kind of starting out. I mean, of course, notable poets also like do chapbooks. If they want to produce a shorter work that they're like, okay, it's ready to come out. But mine was like published mine was traditionally published by Nightingale and Sparrow Press, and I was like, whoa, like I was in college. I didn't know what to do with that. I was like signing a contract, looking over royalties, and I was like, this is a whole new like world. But it was the first time that I was like, wow, like this is official, like oh my god, like this is big.
That's pretty cool.
So it was cool to like tell people I was in college, like, yeah, I'm a published author, and they're like what are you doing? Like what is going on right now? But yeah, it was like it was really a life-changing moment, because I was like, yeah, like this is not the end all be all, but I was very happy. And it was like all the pain and all of the heartbreak and hardships and everything, all the rejections and everything that I went through, like I felt like that was like one of those like it was so worth it moments to hold my own words in my hand. It was so worth it. Yeah. Well,
we have to tap into the mental health phase.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the rejection?
Yeah, I was taking that rejection very hard. I'm not gonna lie. I was also pregnant at the time, so I was teaching.
Wow.
I was pregnant. Yeah, like so my firefly, like even you've seen the pictures that you might have seen the pictures that ACC was posting of me for Poetry for the People, and I'm like super pregnant in those pictures. So I was like, I was literally like, I actually like gave birth the day after that. So that first May you were reading, I literally gave birth the day after that.
Wow.
Which is insane. But anyways, so I was like extra hormonal and emotional anyways. But that feeling of like, I'm not good enough. Nothing I ever do is going to be good enough. If I rewrite it this way, if I change my voice, if I blah, 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 it's not good enough. I'm not good. I'm not worth it. Like, it's really easy to fall down that rabbit hole. And I still have like that negative doubt. Like, I have that feeling. I'm not saying that feeling may not ever fully go away. You still may have those thoughts, but now that my frontal lobe has closed.
You felt it?
I did feel it. Now I'm like so into like introspection, and it's like I don't like there's a level of darkness that I don't want to revisit, and like I will find every way to make sure that I don't go back down that path, right? And so it's my resources, right? It's like I'm having this feeling, what can I do? And like a lot of times we can feel like self-care is like why it's extra, but it's like you need it to survive.
Absolutely.
You need it to live. And self-care is not going out and buying a bunch of stuff. It's not just, I mean, it could be for you, but like that's not the crux of self-care. The crux of self-care is looking at your needs and seeing how you can fulfill them in a way that is sustainable and in a way that keeps you from going down that path. And so for me, self-care and like dealing with rejection looks like going out into nature. I've been really into like sound bowls and singing bowls and like sound healing. So like I have like a MIDI key. I'm also like a musician, so I love to play the piano, and so I've really been into like making my own like meditation music. So I've been like creating those sorts of things, and
I would love to hear.
Yeah, I have one actually. I'll sing it to you.
I would absolutely because we love music.
Yeah,
we absolutely. I'm talking about. We can do music from time. I mean, and it changes throughout the day. The type of music. So yeah, we will.
I will send it to you. I'm on DistroKid now, so I can like actually. I've been a SoundCloud baby like my whole like creative life, just like doing stuff and put it on SoundCloud. But now I'm on DistroKid, so now I can release on Spotify and all the things. So I'll put them on there too. But and I have an album, a spoken word album coming out actually too. So
we
gotta pick a date. But now that I'm on DistroKid, now I can actually put it out.
And will you will you promise us to come back once it comes out?
Yes, when it comes back, I will come out. Yes. I want to do like an album release party. I want to do like a whole, because this has been like it's been in the works for like a year and a half now. And I did like a dial-up poem. You can listen to some of the poems from that album over there if they're on there. But yeah, dealing with rejection, that like journaling is something that's really big. Obviously I'm a writer. It's like, but sometimes I do just have to write like I'm really mad right now. Like I'm really mad, all this happened and I don't it looks like stealing time for myself, and like I love to go, like, this is like capitalistic, but I love to walk in thrift stores because it's like a treasure hunt of like, oh my god,
and the thing,
you know what I mean?
Oh yes, we have been thrifting and go store to store.
I love thrifting.
Yes.
To me, like, it's poetic to me of like there's some like I always find something that I'm like, what the heck? Who made this? This is amazing.
Right.
Yes.
But I love thrifting. Sound healing, praying, reading, anything that I can do to put myself back in my body is what's really important. Like writing down the truth about myself is something that's also really important, but also like crying. Like crying is a form of release. It's a form of cleansing. Like I was like, and I'll say this, like I was holding on to a lot of stuff and I was like, I need to cry. Like I have not cried in a minute, and I just need to let it go. And so like yesterday, I had a good cry, which is I think that's also a book by Nikki Giovanni. Is a good cry, but I had a good cry, and I was like, wow.
Did you take a nap after?
I took a nap. I was like, oh.
So that's why I can't sleep.
No, it was like I was like, oh, okay, I'm good now. Like, and now like the birds were chirping today. I was like, wow, life is beautiful. I went on a walk. I was like, yes. Yeah. So it's like really like deeply listening to yourself, which means you have to put the phone down. It's that phone. It's that phone. It's that.
You have to get to know yourself.
You have to get to know yourself, and you actually have to like figure out what it is that you like, that you enjoy. Whether it is like listening to music, whether it is like, so for some people, it's sitting in your car bumping Young Nudie or like bumping whatever it is, like whatever you need. But it has to take you out of like that that rhythm of go 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 go. You have to, maybe it's sitting in sounds. You have to separate that and get into like your like spirit being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We need to stop because we can keep going.
Yeah.
This, and I done thought of 12 more questions. That I
You
can
gotta have
ask
it
you.
back on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that means you are committed to coming back.
I am committed to coming back. Y'all heard it like.
Yes.
I love you
Well, I
guys.
thank you. Where can people find you?
Yeah. Okay. So my Instagram is Mikhayla Writes. Mikhayla, Mikhayla. That's Mikhayla Writes. I have a WordPress. It's Life Words MJR at WordPress.com, or if you type Life Words, it'll come up. And apparently, this is something new that I've learned. If you type in Mikhayla, Mikhayla Robinson, everything will just pop up, like my name, like my bio, some of my older work, some of my newer things that I've been doing. But if you just like Google search Mikhayla Robinson, I'll come up. What else? Like my Instagram. I have a TikTok. I can't remember what my name is on TikTok. I have a Facebook, but if you just type in that, like all my like social media will pop up, like my picture will pop up. Yeah, so that's where you can find me. My book, my chapbook, if you want to read it. Keep in mind, I wrote a lot of it while I was in high school, but my chapbook, Dichotomy, is on Amazon. It's available for purchase on Amazon. I know that a lot of people are boycotting right now, so if you choose not to buy it, that is totally okay. But if you want to read more of my work, you can go to Life Words MJR at WordPress, and some of my blog posts are on there. A lot of my work I post on Instagram. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can connect with me, and I'm an open door. So if people have questions, I'm open to answering them. Yeah.
Well, tonight they can find you one more again.
Yeah.
Because once I get through messing up my little thing that I say, we gonna once again the event this weekend.
Yes, 5 to 7, Dudley Park, Poetry for the People. King of Pops will be there. Pop-up park will be there for the kids. So bring your kids, bring your grandma, bring your grandpa, bring whoever. It's open for all ages, and it's a night of poetry at Dudley Park from 5 to 7 this Saturday.
Oh, I forgot to make the announcement. Talking Randomish website went live today.
Oh, yay!
It went live, and Larry's son, Antoine Sheets, I like to call him Antoine, he is the author of my website, our website, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's talkingrandomish.com, TalkingRandomish.com. It went live today. We got some updates because I got some pictures. Lee is going to take a picture so you can see who he is. Chair number one, aka chair number one, he is going to take a picture so he can tell you who he is. And but there are some more updates and some things coming. There will be coming a merchandise. So you can a place where you can purchase merchandise, and there's also going to be a place for sponsorship and donations. But the website is now live, and I will have everything posted on Facebook. And everybody, if you know me, you will be getting a text with the page and everything. It's a UR code, so that all you have to do is hit the UR code, and you can go right to it. But thank you.
Thank you.
You are an amazing young woman.
Thank you.
And I promise you, if there's anything that we can do at Talking Randomish for you, to help promote you, to collaborate, I would love to collaborate with you.
Let's do it.
Because like I say, Larry has a book that's coming out soon. And like I say, I would love to get your when your album comes out or your port, whatever, I would love to have you back in here.
For sure.
We plan to have Amanda DZ once she to come in here and discuss her book.
Yes.
So we love words.
Yeah.
And the words matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And I'm gonna do, and once I do my little mess up my little thing, we're gonna let you take us out.
Okay, bye.
All right. This game of life, and I'm gonna mess that up, and I'm reading. This game called life is a series of moments. The past is just that, the past. Learn from it, but be thankful for it. The future, prepare for it. It's coming. The present is a gift. Enjoy the journey. Take pictures, but most importantly, thank God.
Yeah. Trying to figure out what I want to do. Let me see. I'll do this poem, which is one of my favorites. And it's called Poetry is Not a Luxury.
Okay, there.
There we go. They look into my mouth to study my speech, to learn my language, but they fashion themselves a fist to my mouth so I won't speak. Their rage, a luxury, a fashion of life, this pain, a treason to the design, said we know more than we should. Said if you don't beat the child, you spare the wood. Said if we need to know the truth and hide it in a book. But we don't need your tools. We have our own language. We have formed our own prayers, our own psalms, our own remedies, our own pedagogies, hold our own mother tongue, built our own churches, studied our own word, told us there was no time for imagination, but we have always survived and lived at the same time. Death don't be our end, earth as it is in our minds, poetry be our speak, our keys to the divine revolutionary tongue, said we listen when God speaks. Poetry be my prayer, poetry be my song, life to dead bones, lens to liberation, collective freedom, said we listen when God speaks. Phyllis Wheatley at the gate with her pen, Toni Morrison had a knowing within, Audre Lorde knew the price to be paid for all this luxury and beauty we deserve because we live. We desire because we exist. Words like a need to breathe said we listen when God speaks. We move beyond the veil. Poetry is not a luxury. Thank you.
She's a beast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's time to sweep the floors, clean the clippers. Damn, I guess I gotta clean the bathroom. Good Lord. Hey, y'all need to come on back, fellas. I ain't be telling about that. But in the words of Rita Lawson's son, Odabo Jack, the shop is closed.